So, Legion Remix, Phase 5, what is it really? I will tell you, by the way, right off the bat here, half of the video will be kind of a rant, which already kind of spoils my mood and how I feel about the current phase. So if you don't care about that and you think Legion Remix has been great, it is everything you've been asking for, well, good for you. Keep having fun. Skip that half of the video. For the first half though, we are going to be taking a look at what's available in this phase, so you know what to expect if you haven't played, if you haven't logged in yet. That way you know what the phase is all about. So let's just go to Wowhead here and read the patch notes, because we now have the entirety of the Phase 5 patch notes, covering the higher item level, the faster experience, the catch-up mechanic that was supposed to come in this phase. Now, just before we do that, let's take a look at the Legion timeline here. They promised us in Phase 5, December 9th, Infinite Echoes, catch-up opportunities, remix content updates, and more rewards. I think they also said something about Legion remix original content, which to be fair they have delivered on, but is it exactly what people have been asking for? Let's just find out. But yeah, going down here and going further down, we can take a look at the patch notes. I'm not gonna read the entire thing here, this is just like lore things, but yeah. Flawless Threads of Time, a new upgrade currency replacing Motes of a Broken Time, used to enhance a gear to item level 779. So remember when they said that 740 would be the last, like, that would be the best gear we could get? Well, they've retconned that, they've gone back on that one now, and we can get more item level, yay, right? Not really, but yeah, you can get more item level to do no new content, no new challenging things, no mage tower. Error's scrapping service allows a conversion of excess motes and threads into fragmented mementos, so slight W there I guess. Cat jumping on the desk as always. Time Runner's Mayhem, stacking research experience bonus, plus 3% per stack up to 10 stacks, 12 hours each from daily infinite research. So if you have a brand new character you're leveling up, you will basically do 10 dailies, get plus 30%, and that's kind of nice for leveling. Then we have 2 new quests from Moritari, Until Our Next Hello and Out of Time. The way I've seen these, by the way, they don't really do anything. It's just a quest to end the remix. Doesn't really give you anything super important, and yeah, not really worth talking about. Ritual at Infinite Bonfire, burn blank Doomsayer's pamphlets to conclude the Infinite storyline. Once again, not really anything to worry about, not anything you have to do. It's just tied to the new content, which is this right here. Lost Legion Infernals, new enemies for additional challenges and rewards, rotating world bosses, so 6 world bosses appear every 18 hours on the Broken Isles, each with unique rewards, increased loot and more obelisks, so more frequent loot drops, time worth obelisks, and upgrade opportunities. Also, remix decor is available to everybody after the event, but will be more costly. So, for example, the prices are already visible, the core ranging upwards of 50 unveiled Argonite and 18,000 order resources. So for anybody who doesn't want to play Remix or haven't played Remix, you can still get the core items from Legion Remix, but they will take a lot more time to get. And then we have the new content as well in Phase 5, the Lost Legion Infernals, a new spawning repeatable world boss, just spawns just about everywhere. You will see like a big skull on the map when it spawns, and this is a loot you can expect to get. 20 fragmented mementos, 4 flawless threads of time. This is a new upgrade currency, so you combine 10 of them to give you a random piece of gear that is slightly better than the gear you already have, up to 779. Stamina mementos for the artifact, a little bit of bronze, and some infinite power. And I'm just gonna say, by the way, this phase is trash. It honestly is trash. I don't know why we had to wait for this. I'm not happy about this. This phase should have been here way before. And let's just get into the ranty part, shall we? So, number 1, let's talk about the time gating of content. Going back to the Legion timeline here, October 7th was the launch. We had to wait 2 months for this smallest update ever. That experience stack should have been here from Phase 2. That like plus 3% from doing dailies. Dailies should have been more important from the get-go, or at the very least from phase 2. Holding it back on this small update is an absolute FU to all the players, because this is just small quality of life. Either way, when it comes to the timeline, number one, I hate Timegating a fun event, which is what Remix is supposed to be, but if they really wanted to Timegate it to milk monthly revenue, this is not the way to do it. We had to wait 3 weeks from Argus until this phase, and this phase right here adds just about nothing, by the way. It feels like a nothing burger out of a nothing burger out of a nothing shack. Like, this sucks. But what I was gonna say, if you really want to timegate the content, what they should have done is give us one new raid every week. As you can see here, we had 2 weeks from launch to phase 2. To be fair, those 2 weeks I think was kind of okay, because at that point you were still leveling characters, there was a huge gear grind to get to 740, so the gap between phase 1 and phase 2 wasn't really that bad, but then having 2 weeks between phase 2 and phase 3, that should have been 1 week, and another 2 weeks between phase 3 and phase 4, that should have been 1 week as well. And then from phase 4 to phase 5 should also have been 1 week, and phase 5 needs way more content. Let's talk about a couple of the things that people were expecting to be in phase 5 that is not here. So people like myself who have these things right here, they still do nothing. Like, this right here, Resonant Epoch Mementos, why do I keep getting these whenever I do dailies? I already have the max experience on my artifact, 400%. Why do I keep getting them when they don't give me anything? As you can see, I have 271 of them stocked up, just in case they become useful. But, like, here's the thing, I'm not even trying to be subjective. They can take away all of the ones that I have, but make them useful, because when you do a daily right now, you still get them. So, like, if I'm gonna keep getting them, at least make them useful, or make me stop getting them. And then we have the 2 things that people really were expecting to be in the last phase. Number 1 is account-wide infinite power, which still is not a thing, by the way. Actually, I'm gonna say that the 3 things people were expecting to be here in this phase. Number 1 is account-wide infinite power, to be able to make alts easier, have the power on the alts easier, and just make you able to swap characters way easier instead of having to start from 0 on a brand new character. People were really expecting infinite power to be account-wide in the last phase, myself included, just to promote you being able to play more characters on a high level and experience what that class had to offer in Legion Remix. Likewise, people were expecting the cap to go past 999 on Limits Unbound, because as you can see, I still have leftover infinite power. We have 5.5 million infinite power over the cap. So people have been farming over the cap, just in case we can keep expanding past this cap as well. And then we have the third thing that I'm really surprised they haven't added in this phase, by the way. Motes of a Broken Time. At the moment, you can scrap these for infinite power, but people like myself who already have too many Motes of a Broken Time, guess what? We are also capped on infinite power, so people have been wanting to ever since phase 2, by the way, and have really been expecting that in phase 5 we would be able to send these to alts to gear them up. Why in the unholy living unholiest of unholy creatures is this still soulbound? Blizzard, why are these motes soulbound? Why can't I trade my motes here to my alt? Yes, you allowed me to scrap them for infinite power. Thank you so much. That saved my life and my game so much as well, because I need that. I honestly need that so badly. What I really want, though, is to experience Legion Remix on more characters, on more classes, and instead of having to gear them from scratch, I have 5,000 emotes on my main, because Blizzard has been telling you, play one character, because nothing is account-wide anyway, so I have a lot of these stacked up on the character that they are basically forcing me to play. Let me send these modes to an alt, and gear up the alt, and then play the alt. Everybody that I know and talk to have been expecting this to be account-wide in phase 5, and it's still soulbound. That is incredibly crazy, and I don't even know what Blizzard is thinking here. Now, here's the thing, I've really been trying to enjoy Legion Remix as much as I can, and to be fair, I really have enjoyed it as well, but not for the content. I've enjoyed it because of the stream and the community that we have. I was streaming Legion Remix on a daily basis, doing raids with the community. If I wasn't streaming, I'm just gonna say, I probably would only have played Legion Remix for a week or two to level my characters, and that's it. That is all I would have done. Now, there are a couple of things that to me really killed the Legion remix that I think Blizzard really needs to improve on if they ever want to do an entire remix again. Because if future remixes follow the same pattern as Legion remix, I beg you Blizzard, never do another remix. Because this remix honestly has sucked when it comes to the entirety of things. Number 1, stop dragging things out just to milk us from monthly sub revenue. This right here was structured this way to make you pay your October sub, your November sub, and your December sub, so 3 months of sub, just to be able to drag your content out for absolutely no reason. Even me, as somebody who streamed the game, and was like, I was streaming the game, I have a monetarily incentive to hype up the game, be happy to play the game. It's like, yeah, like, the more happy I am, the more happy other people are as well, from watching me play the game and speak positively about it. I'm incentivized to speak positively about the game, because you quitting the game doesn't really do me anything good, and you playing the game does do me something good. So, yeah, what I'm gonna say here is, if you really want to timegate things, unlock them way faster. Phase 1 to Phase 2 is the only time gating here that was okay, because once again you were leveling up characters, you were gearing them up and things, so Phase 1 to Phase 2, that was okay. After that it should have been 1 week in between every single content phase, which means you would have had Phase 5 in the middle of November, so 1 month earlier. They would have lost out on 1 month potential sub, but players would have been way happier playing Legion Remix. And number 2, the absolute alt unfriendliness and the non-willingness to listen to feedback. Everybody, their mother, their father, their house pet, even the crickets in their house and the mice in their house as well, have been asking for these modes to be account banned, and Blizzard is like, no, you think you do but you don't. We know, we are the players. You tried this with us when it came to Classic WoW and everybody wanted Classic, and this one absolute idiot went on stage and went, you think you do but you don't, and we had to prove you wrong by showing you that we do indeed want this. When it comes to having the ability to play alts in Legion Remix as well, trust me, we wanted this. We don't want it anymore because Legion Remix is absolutely dead. You killed it, Blizzard. You did, by not listening to anybody else than yourself, and not, like, simple things. Turning this from soulbound to account bound, I believe that can be done in 10 minutes as a developer. I challenge you to prove me how that is difficult in the coding backend. Now, I believe these critiques is something that Blizzard really should learn from in a future remix, because the alt unfriendliness has absolutely sucked. The entire remix, by the way, and even the last phase doesn't even do anything to make it more alt-friendly, which absolutely sucks. You're basically locked in to play one character the entire remix. And then number 2, let's talk about the gearing aspect, shall we? On the PTR, for anybody like myself who played Legion Remix on the PTR, the highest item level was not always 740. Back in Phase 1, the intended highest item level was 630, 650, like way below 740, and 740 was supposed to be the Argus item level, so you were not gonna reach this before Argus. But then everybody on the PTR said that's gonna absolutely suck, having to grind new gear every single phase. So based on feedback, Blizzard gave us access to 740 item level at the start, because people said having to re-grind the gear later in Remix is not something we want to do. We want to be able to get the best gear from the start. Blizzard listened and people were happy. So why do they introduce 7, 7 and 9 now then, which is literally antithetical to why they gave us 7 to 740 in the first place? Honestly, it feels like such a bait and switch and a big FU, because once again, the reason why we had 740 in Phase 1 was based on people asking for it, because having the item level increase every single phase felt bad, and having to re-grind the gear all the time felt bad. People wanted access to the end game loot from the start, and well, the end game loot now is 779, so that is what we meant then. Then we would have wanted access to 779 from the start, not just 740, because now a lot of people like myself, we have spent tens of hours on getting the perfect gear, and when it comes to upgrading my gear right now, it's not like I'm getting threads that can upgrade my gear. I am getting like things to increase the item level of the loot that I'm getting by a little bit. So it's RNG all over again, and you have to re-farm all the pieces. So for example, I have farmed the perfect stats to get like critical strike, mastery, speed, I have an avoidance set, I have a leech set, all with the perfect both secondary stats and tertiary stats as well. There is absolutely no way I'm grinding all of that again, by the way, because once again, they have given us 39 more item levels, but there's no content challenging enough to where you need that item level right now. I've already done everything in Remix, and everything Phase 5 comes out with. It's group content anyway, it's a world boss, big whoop, right? Thank you so much, it's one world boss, not even a mage tower or anything challenging, by the way. So I'm not playing the last phase, pretty much. I'm gonna do the absolute bare minimum to get player housing items or achievements, but apart from that, the only things I have to do left now in Legion Remix is my class order halls, and that's okay, by the way, but I just feel like that is not really a good state to be in. They give the players a face, and out of everybody I'm talking to, I think 10% of the people that played Legion Remix are hyped about this phase on my friend list, which is like 50 plus people. 5 people are a little bit hyped about the phase, and the other people are simply not going to play. Big nice, big nice. But yeah, don't let me being mad discourage you from having fun. If you are enjoying the last phase, more power to you. I hope you have a blast. I absolutely hate it though, and I wanted to express that, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Either way, that's it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. I'm live every single day on Kick, by the way. The link will be down below in the pinned comment. Either way, peace out. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Bye bye.